If you're not creating, you are consuming, right?
Yeah.
It's just that simple. So when you're creating, I'm creating the us that are fortunate enough to have that creative mind and not settle for society's mediocrity.
I think that's why people were so depressed because they lack that purpose. And I think it is in the nature of the human being to want to create. I didn't think I had a creative bone in my body at all. And when I started creating and seeking for more, and all of a sudden there's no more depression at all. There's ups and downs, swings, and it's the emotional swings when I start to feel the sadness creep in is when I am not pursuing something.
Mindset shift, it's a new day grinding. Truth cuts deep, no sugarcoat signing. Every scar earned, every win redefined. Unfiltered talk, real ones on the line. From the trenches to the boardroom, we built from the grind. Sweat, equity, daily success redefined. No fluff, no luck, just pressure and pain. Earn daily with honor, disciplines the name. We don't chase dreams, we build them brick by brick.
What's up?
So I learned why they put like different ages on Lego sets because the ones that say 18 plus, that's not for adults. That's for children that are 18 and over, because it gets to a point that you feel like a child and you go, and you come back. So, hi, how are you?
Yeah, start over after that one. Oh man.
No, that's the whole point. That's the whole point. That's the whole point. That's the
Uh,
whole point. That's the whole
Funny.
point. Because I said,
Yeah,
let's just say something off
yeah,
the
no,
wall.
no fucking shit. So, what's up, everybody? Welcome the fuck back. Um, if you guys aren't subscribed, make sure you subscribe to the channels. We'll get into it today. So, really laid back. But how's your week, bro?
Oh my gosh. It has been a ride. It has been a ride. We're in the middle of we're at the point now that I have to speak to an attorney Monday or Tuesday. The trust can't wait anymore. Um, I was holding back because I know it's gonna cost a little bit. It's gonna you know, but I've also learned that for some reason, somehow, money always comes anyway, regardless. So just got to show up for it. So, so
Did
other
you
than
talk to Logan?
I have not spoken to Logan, and the reason I have not spoken to Logan is because I asked myself, who is the most crooked, deceiving, conniving human being that you know that is an attorney? And I came up with a name. And because I've known him for a while, and I know of him. And it seems like life brought him back to me because before my mom left, uh, he came into my life again. Like he knows my mom and everything. He knows the whole family history here. And he told me that his son is doing trusts.
Okay.
And his son, when I looked at it and I looked into his son, I was like, huh, this guy's fucking cool. I'll send you a picture of him, and I think you might understand why I chose to go with him.
Yeah, I mean, to each his own. I
So,
doubt I could tell just by looking at him,
well,
but
I'm just saying his website, whatever it is. But you know what I mean.
no, copy.
Ay, ay, ay. Sorry. Ay, no, leave me. Stop. Ay, kitty, kitty. Oh my God. Ah, he's never done that before. I apologize. He fucking he he chewed my foot like a dog would.
What, your cat?
Yeah.
Uh, I don't put anything past cats, so no, I just
So anyway, that was it. I we have a partnership. We're in works with a partnership with a repair station. It got spoken about. I got the phone call on Friday
okay.
or Thursday. Thursday or Friday, I got the phone call. No, Friday. Friday, I got the phone call. He goes, Nest, give me a call on Monday. Let's set up an appointment. We're ready. So I said,
Nice
okay.
man.
So that's fucking phenomenal.
No.
I spoke with the school, the big school, the one that we're partnering up with, because I'm still waiting on my letter in my agreement, and I have a fuck ton of work to do, and I cannot design it without knowing what I can and cannot say.
Mm.
Right? So I have my rough draft is up. I'm ready, but I just can't fine tune it, which is fine. What else can I tell you real quick here? Yesterday, my son, uh, we bought steaks. We bought a whole bunch of steaks. We went to Costco, and there's a guy down here. He's doing a job down in an airport here that when I was up in Minnesota doing a job for Endeavor, he helped me a lot. So he says, "Hey, next time I'm in Florida, I'll reach out to you," and he did. So um, he was supposed to be coming by yesterday. So that's why we bought the steaks and so forth. The guy ended up getting some type of fucking bird flu, whatever, slash swine COVID bird flu, something that's going on right now.
Yeah.
And so he's at the hotel going, dying. He goes, I don't want to come over. I'm like, that's cool. Appreciate it. So then my wife goes, hey, let's call Seb. And I'm like, fuck yeah. So I called my son and I said, hey, what are you guys doing? Oh, stop. Sorry.
This is why you don't get cats. For
No,
everybody that doesn't know
this
what's
is
going on.
why. Look at this guy.
And he's just playing with you.
I know. This is fucking phenomenal, dude. But
Fucking
he, but he's digging his beautiful claws into my feet. So anyway,
she said call
Sebastian came back. No, Sebastian. Okay, so we called my Seb. They came over last night. We grilled up some steaks. Um, and I noticed there was a little bit of tension. And I asked my his wife. I asked her. I said, so how are you? And oh, stop. That's enough. Go, go, go. Sorry, dude. That one hurt. I could see the element of surprise in your face.
yeah,
So,
fucking cats.
so anyway, came over and I was talking to her and I asked her about her work, her job, because she waited so long. She worked at an ice cream parlor throughout her high school, saved up a buttload of money, went to college, graduated college, and then I got her first job, that type deal. And so I'm happy for her. And so I'm asking her what kind of, what she's doing. And she's doing phone sales, for some title company, there's some type of home title insurance or whatever the fuck it is. Right. And I guess home sales must be bad because they're pretty much selling them over the phone. Like, hey, you should check your fucking home title. You might have a lien on it. I think you would know if you had a lien on it, but just I guess not.
Yeah, you'd be surprised.
Yeah, well, she's on the phone pitching this shit, and I don't know nothing about sales, right? I mean, come on, right? Hello, and Sebastian and I mean, he's been on the phone, so we talk, and so I'm asking her things, but I'm asking her fun things like, tell me what you enjoy about your job the most, and tell me about your day, and she's like, my job isn't fun. Work's not supposed to be fun, and
Huh?
and I'm like, whoa, what? oh yeah, no, I just go to work and do what I need to do, and then I come home, and then I just, that's when I have my fun. And I'm like, it was like my jaw dropped, and I'm like, oh no, sweetheart, I think you got it backwards, because oh no, but Sebastian, he hates his job, and that blah blah blah, and you should talk to him. I'm fine, and I'm like, okay, you know, so I'm over here. I said I come outside, and we just sit down, we start talking, and I said, "You good?" And he goes, "I said, so you hate the job that much, huh?" He goes, "It's just." I'm like, "It's cool, but you have a choice, and the choice is, and the only one that can make that choice is you, right?" He goes, "Yeah." I said, "So what is it that you want to do? Do you know what it is?" And he ponders back. I said, "So you have an idea. Why aren't you acting upon it?" I said, "I don't know what it is, and then don't tell me. It's all you. But if you have an idea," he goes, I said, "You're gonna fail anyway. Why not just try? You know, why not just try? I mean, everybody's ultimate goal." I said, "You might want to fucking fail. See how far you get. What if you make it? You know, it's that whole fucking mentality." And he starts thinking, and he's like, I said, "You know what, dude? I can't say anything else except I have learned that life does happen if you put the work behind it. That's it. Whatever it is." I said, you can talk about manifesting certain things, but you have to put certain markers for the lines to line up, to match." I said, "You have to put up that marker. That marker takes time. And unfortunately, for some reason, I don't think you're understanding. You, my friend, have the same time that everybody else has. You think you're in a different position, so you need to get out of your mind. You got to get out of your mind. You're in prison right now, and it's only because you're allowing it." I said, "What's holding you back for real? Is it money?" And he thinks, and he goes, "No." I said, "So it's not money. Why?" Because most of the time it's money, right? I mean, fuck. I know.
Not your time.
I said, I need money. You know.
Yeah.
I said, so if it's not money, what is it? And then he fucking told me, he goes, "I just don't want to fail." I'm like, she, his girl told him straight up, she can handle it for 2 months. They have enough that he can fucking sit on his butt for 2 months and not worry about a bill. I said, "Dude, that's gold." You don't understand how much work you can do in those 2 months. You don't understand how by the time those 2 months are done, you should be, you know, onto something. But you have to work. What is it that you want to do? So he's kind of stuck in a little loophole here. So
Mm.
as and then I told him also that if he's not ready to make that commitment, then he needs to enjoy the day truly, because the day is there for a reason. Try to be more present. You know, I said the word try. Be more present, right? Um, it's the only thing, because if you're aware of your surroundings, if you're there, if you're not wandering in your mind, if you're present, you can see why you're there. Most of the time we forget why we're there. We
Mm.
start the whole repetition part, the whole you go into autopilot mode and you forget why you're there. Everything becomes random. But why you're truly there that's why being present is, and sometimes being at a light, you see something, because of you seeing it, you made it real. You know what I mean? It's like you become witness to it, type deal. So
Mm.
that's pretty much it. I had an amazing week as far as that's concerned. Um,
I'm
I'm ex-
curious.
I'm excited for next week. I have an answer.
Why did you tell him he was going to fail?
I said that he would probably fail. I didn't say it like you're gonna fail. I said you would
Makes
probably
sense.
fail.
Yeah, well, I
You
mean, I
know,
get that.
I said you'll probably fail. I didn't say that he would like you'll fail. I said
Okay,
you will
well, you
likely
all right.
fail, but you the way I said it. Excuse me, I said it backwards here. You're right. I didn't tell him like, oh, you're gonna fail. No, I said most likely you will fail, but you would want to see how far you gotten. You know, that's what I meant.
Yeah, but like the only way you fail is if you quit. And so you told him that if he wasn't willing to commit, then he wasn't ready yet. But I mean, literally, like you'll figure out all of the ways that it doesn't work, but you keep on chopping at it, and fucking that's the only way you actually truly fail. He said, "What are they? Freaking what's it, Jocko?" He said, "There's no failure outside of death." Because that's literally the end. Like that's when it's gonna stop. Like you don't have any more chances. I have Interact posted that quote and they're like, "Who said failure is death?" And I was like, "You guys are so fucking stupid." Like you immediately go to nitpick something. Like think about it for a second. That is the only time you're out of chances is when you die. And then, if you believe in the afterlife, a better place, salvation, then, it just gets better. So that's a mentality I have. Like there's no failure. Like, how many ways have I figured out that shit doesn't work
It doesn't work.
until, and that's why it was like
Yeah, you're
you
right.
have
I
to
used the wrong
persist
terminology.
until, yeah. So, well, how long does it take? Well, that's why I say until, because it's
Hmm.
until you get it. It's not fucking, well, how long does it take? Fuck, I don't know.
Hmm.
It's like, 2 months. Like, yeah, you'll be able to develop some skills, but in all actuality, you're probably gonna have to do the hustle, work your motherfucking ass off in the
Oh
daytime
yeah.
and build what you build at night. Afternoon. Fuck, you talked to me this week. Like,
Oh, something else that happened. Something else that happened. Uh, you just when you said that you death. Um, I went to go see a friend who's on his way out,
mm,
and he, I just randomly sent him a text. Hey, old motherfucker, how are you? Blah blah blah. I miss you. I haven't talked to you in a while. Hope you're going good. Blah blah blah. Bye. And then I get a text from his. I guess it turned out to be his sister. I thought it was his wife. I got a text from a lady saying, "Hey, uh, he's not. He's home. He's in hospice. He's on his way out. If you want to come by, you're more than welcome to." So
mm.
I dropped everything when she said that text. I told Dahlia, it's like we're going to Jupiter right now. So
Oh,
we went up there to go see him, and it's amazing how the body eats itself up on the way out. He just shriveled up. This is just skin and bones. You know, the eyes don't change, of course. His stare, but I saw something in him that it was so peaceful when he when we talked when we I would look into his eyes and he was extremely present, extremely aware of everything. And he's like, it's cool, brother. It's just there was such a peace in his eyes that it was it was a nice little moment there.
It sounds
Mm,
like somebody is on his deathbed with no regrets.
completely none. Beautiful, 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 beautiful man. Beautiful man. Beautiful man.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, it seems like that would be the actual goal to a peaceful end is to have
Right.
no regrets, nothing left on the table that you didn't at least attempt to accomplish or you do your best. There's a so yesterday we had the busy morning, whatever. Freaking, we got back from hanging out with the boys. We took them to the park, and I went to run to the gym real fast. And of course, somebody was there working and was in a position where he needed some help. But before we had gotten to that point, I guess this is why he told me this yesterday. Um, Somebody that he knew took his life on my friend's birthday. And so he turned his birthday. He had a he's had a rough go for a little while now. It was like he had back surgery on his birthday, and then of course, he turns on the TV when he wakes up from his nap after the medical induced fucking sleep, and sees that somebody that he knew one of his competitors in his field took his life,
Oh my goodness.
and like decent sized company, pretty well known. And he was like, I just don't get it. I was like, I do. It's like shit gets hard. It's like the stuff that like he's going through right now. Like he's been fighting with his mentality for a better part of a year. Probably more 2 years now. He's been going like getting counseling, business coach, stuff like that, trying to like keep his head around everything, seeking elders, counsel, from spiritual leaders, stuff like that. But at the end of the day, like the shit's not fucking easy. And he's like, yeah, this guy has a business, he has employees that he's responsible for, household, family, all these different things. And it's like the stuff piles up. So the your friend there that was, exiting this plane of life and going on to the next with no regrets. And then you have the other hand where somebody's taking their life because it's just so
All the best
heavy.
day.
So it's a very, very stark contrast there when you think about that. Because I was trying to figure out why he was telling me that yesterday, and I was just like, yeah, I get it. You're going through some stuff. Um, but now it makes more sense to me why that story was important because that's the goal is to leave this place with nothing in the tank, peaceful.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez, man, it's so annoying when it does that. I still don't. That's how I know what I say is impactful because my face will start leaking for no reason. It's like, yeah, spirit's like, yes. But that's a very, very rough thing to, watch people that you know. Um, when I was younger, it was always told to you to be the coward's way out, and because you don't want to fight anymore. And like I was raised that if you did that, you burn for all eternity. So that was one of the reasons that actually kept me alive. When all those times I wanted to do that myself was like, yeah, well, you don't be a coward, and do you really want to burn forever? And so yeah, it's not a joke when people go through that stuff. There is a reason to go out and get help. So if you're watching this and you're one of those people that is going through something like that, make a phone call, call a friend, call a suicide prevention hotline, something, um, because that's the people that love you, and even if you don't think they love you and know you, will mourn you, and it will stick with it for a long time. So back on so yeah, this week was fun, days and nights.
That's a mixture right there. Because
Sucks.
now, did you work yesterday? No.
So I worked, yeah, I got off work at 5 a.m. Well, I got at 5:30 a.m. So I was supposed to go into work at 8:30 on Friday night, and they called me at 1 and told me to come in early. So I think I left here at like 3:45, 4 o'clock, and got home at like 5:45 in the morning. So got a lot of shit done on the website. Made a dope ass hat that's in fucking uh it seems that it is the digitization. So you have to take the actual mock-up and then see if they can make it into
Uh-huh.
the patch. And so it's in production right now. So it should be here next week.
Nice.
Looking forward to that. You got to fuck with this hats for a minute. Um, so a lot of changes on the website. Yeah, no, it's been a very interesting, busy week. Yeah, so that's cool. And then when I went to lift yesterday, it's funny because I get so fucking pissed when people try to stop me from working out, and I was like, because it's just what like, that is how I stay grounded. And fucking, my wife wanted me to stay home because I had been gone for like fucking, like I'd been up for like 28 hours. And then I like went to sleep, and then we had the boys, so we took the boys to the park, and they were freaking phenomenal. I'm grateful. I'm gonna take them fishing, and it's funny because I was like, "Hey, do you guys like fishing?" They're like, "No." Very early on interaction, and then I don't know what prompted me to. I was like, "Do you know how to fish?" And he was like, "Well, no." I was like, "Well, do you want to learn?" He's like, "Yeah." I was like, so it's crazy. You can change the verbiage of a question and get a different result in cells. Um, so we'll be doing that. So that's kind of cool. Planning on doing that. So we got back from that. I went to hit the gym, and freaking when I pull up, I was back in, and when I went to back in, I see my buddy walking across the freaking parking lot of the complex, and he like just smiles when he sees me, and that's like awesome. He needs my help. I'm not gonna get to work out. Like, all right. So I pull up and see what's going on. He's like, yeah, so I got it apart, and he's like, I'm just about to try and drag this thing with my F-250. I was like, you're not gonna move that thing with that F-250. It's a 25,000 pound, 28,000 pound curb machine that has steel tracks on it. And while you have managed to get the tracks to release by taking out the gearing, it's not gonna move with that. So I ended up having to go to my old job because I still have keys to that place because I work there whenever they need my help, they'll call me. And I went and picked up one of the semi trucks. Good old Peterbilt, and drug that thing across the parking lot for him. And it's like, there's something you said because I had no desire to fucking do that shit at all. But sometimes doing the right thing isn't always the thing you want to do. And clearly, somebody that you care about needs your help. You need to fucking help them whether you want to or not. It is what it is. So I didn't get my fucking lift in yesterday, and I was pissed. But I did. I had some movement, so it's fine. Stretched a little bit. Um, got some steps in, but I still prefer to have a proper session. So I went this morning before this, and got my session in, and then I'll probably play tennis with the wife this afternoon because she's been wanting to play tennis. So I'll go play. But yeah, that was the last like 24 hours. And I'm so obsessive about the task that I set out to do, and I had to finish the edit and make the thumbnail yesterday for last week's podcast, and I want to put it out last night, and I fell asleep, and I was so fucking angry, and my wife's like talking shit to me because she's like, you only been up for a fucking day and a half. I was like, it's only 20 hours. She's like, you need to go to sleep. I was like, I can function. I was like, I'm gonna go take some creatine. And like I heard her grumble about it, and then I fell asleep, and I don't remember anything else after that point. So it's literally opening on the freaking software. I've already viewed it. I just have to make the intro and put the other little clip in the front in the thumbnail. All I needed was like 20 minutes. Like 20
Dang.
minutes. And
Yeah.
it was like, no, night night, bitch.
Yeah.
So, but And I went to edit one of the ones from the 100-day stretch, and it is so bad. I just couldn't put it out.
It was so
It was
bad.
these are so much better if you watch one of these and then watch one of those. It is so fucking bad. And it's just like, all right, so that's how much better you guys got over the course of what, a
A
year
year.
of just being consistent at a task that you had no clue how to do. And it's like everybody knows how to talk. Yeah, no, motherfucker. Like that shit was fucking garbage. So it was like
It's
one of
okay though, but I mean, those are the things. I mean, we still got to put it out. I mean, at least with your original titles,
I
we'll
will put it in the cloud for you to make some shorts out of. So
yeah,
because
we'll figure something out.
there's a few gems in there,
Yeah,
but it's no, it's literally us like sitting in conversations very relaxed. We're both working the entire time. So it's no.
it was very bland.
That was more of our one of our strategic planning. So maybe I can put it out as like a planning session or something like that, but it is
We'll
not a
figure
fucking
something.
episode. So, but yeah, so the last week's episode will be up in the cloud very shortly after we finish
Thank
today.
you.
Yeah,
Oh, I sent you a text. I sent you a text. It was an answer for your website.
yeah. You want me to put my book up?
Yeah, I want you to put your book up.
That was I read it, and I was just like, I really do need to get on that website. Well, because I have to rewrite it all because the it won't work with the format that I wrote it in. Because I put it on the template for
Yeah,
through Canva that's beautiful and I like um because it's different and it won't let me upload it in that format. At least I haven't figured out how to do it. So it's still a work in progress. Yes, it is ready for me to print, but I just haven't fucking got it. And I copied it into Word and been working through it. So it does need to come out though. The goal was to get it out by the end of January. So it's still there. It's
the main reason why I said that is because also because it's something that I have to also finish. Also, I have to finish my website as well. You know,
mm,
my personal site. It's the same. It's more of a call to action. Period.
mm.
Period. You know, it's like I got to do that shit as well.
I'm gonna
Um,
make it a landing page, I think, for lead gym.
mm,
Um, dude, it's too early for me to pee, but I gotta pee. That's crazy. Give me a second.
that's cool. Recording in progress.
Yeah, well, it makes me laugh because I freaking. How do you not know how to spell entrepreneur? Like I freaking, it's pretty bad. But then, I'm not the spelling champion.
I've noticed something, and so we're losing track of the meaning of words. For some reason we're losing track on how to spell, how to enunciate, how to speak. You know, we're for some reason I'm noticing that in our generations, you know, now it's typing. There's no more cursive. There's no more handwriting. There's no more, shit like that. There's no more classes on how to handwrite and have proper handwriting and spelling and pronunciations and now it's all fucking Ibonics and whatever it is or how can I do this and how to make it easier. But we lose so much meaning of the root word and I feel that that's part of the cause on people's like mis misinformed life. I guess you could say. I don't know how to say it. It's like I noticed that my life started getting so much better when I learned to really focus on my words. When I just blabbered the fuck out of everything else and I'm in autopilot, then it's more of a survival mode. Does that make sense? And it's fear based. It's not, I don't know. But yeah. Why did I say that? I don't know. But just, I don't remember.
Well, I was searching for my buddy's website. It was, and I was trying to fucking spell. 'Cause it's the disgruntled entrepreneur,
Yes.
and so I was looking for it, and I like spelled it wrong 3 times. So that's why I
But
was.
now, but even if you spelt it, it didn't auto populate, auto correct itself.
That's how bad I spelled it. Yeah. So that's how bad I spelled it.
Here's another reason why it doesn't fucking matter too. I guess you could say it that way. Because ultimately, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know how to do something, I'm sure there's somebody that you can hire that knows how to do it. So that's you know.
No, I freaking. Oh wow, that makes more sense now. I wanted to compare some pricing and stuff like that. That's why I wanted to look at it. My pricing is significantly higher than his. However, I use better quality shirts than most people, so um, you pay for the quality. So it kind of is what it is.
I saw a post the other day. It was a saying that we have 3 different commodities: money, time, and knowledge. And most of the time, you always have 2 of them in search. You have to use 2 of them in search for the third. So if you need knowledge, you're going to spend money and time. If you need time, you're going to spend money and knowledge. So it's just those kind of things.
Hmm. Yeah. Um, it's interesting. I had somebody that had hit me up yesterday. This is why your messages are important. He had hit me up. He texted me very out of the blue, random shit, and I guess he had saw one of my rules, and he said, "Dude," he's like, "that line is fucking dope." And I was like, "What are you talking about? Stop negotiating the price." And I was like, "Yeah, I said that in one of my rules. It's because I'm pretty sure I got it from Ed Milet. I don't know how many years ago. It was more than likely where that came from. But you negotiate the price for what you want to accomplish. Like you say, you've done enough. Well, clearly you haven't, or you fucking have it." And he was just like, "No." He's like, "I totally agree." But he has a company that he's been working on building. So he was one of the guys, one of the early adopters of AI. And he was the one that put me on like using it to like plan your meals, plan your workouts, so you could have some what's it called? So you can switch it up with that because you get in routines, your body gets used to it, and it doesn't really seem that it was because you're doing the same thing all the fucking time. And so I don't know what the fuck he did in the Navy, but he like just disappeared for a period of time and then he popped back up. So I don't know where he was stationed, got on social media, and he came back, got his doctorate, and extremely highly educated young man that I grew up with. And he has built a, a AI called Top Keeper, and it was originally for service-based companies to have the follow-up without having the follow-up to make sure that it's going to keep in contact with the people and follow up for you. And I was like, "How is that going?" He's like, "Yeah, no, it's moving." He's like, "It's not going as fast as I want, but it's moving." He's like, "Every week's better than the last." I was like, okay, that's pretty much all you can ask. He was like, dude, I found out that I suck at sales. And I was like, yeah, dude, it's like cold calling, selling sucks. Like there's no getting around it. You're gonna have to make a lot of fucking phone calls and you're gonna have to eat shit and it's gonna suck for a little while or for until you develop the skills to do so. Yeah, you're just gonna keep on taking it. So I had sent him a playlist that I found on YouTube for Tom Hopkins because if you've never been in sales, you need to listen to Tom Hopkins because it will change your outlook and give you a little bit of a footing. But I told him to hit me up and I'd go over a script with him. And I was like, I don't know if he believes me or not. I was like, I can fucking help you, like a lot. So I was like, I'm not fucking charge you anything. I'm just gonna, I'll walk you through your script and fucking like make you understand that until you get out of the mind frame where you're there to sell them, you're not going to sell shit. You're just not. You need to figure out because like the people that come knocking on my door to pitch their product, I think I've had one that actually asked me some questions before they started running their fucking mouth. So it's
And
starting.
out of all of them, which one asked for the sale at the end?
I don't think I ever let him get to that point. I don't like there's one kid he was doing really good, and I was like, dude, I really have zero interest in your fucking product. And he's like, yeah, good day, sir, thank you, because it's like it was very clear. I just it's a hard well going door to door. Like if you're coming to my fucking house and knocking on my door, like I'm already like on like why the fuck are you on my porch? So, like I don't open the door and like talk to you in the door. I open the door and walk out to the edge of my porch and stand there and talk to you on camera because I don't, yeah, I don't like that shit. So, but to call somebody and like I don't even know how you would go about that first fucking phone call to pitch them on a product to do their follow up for them outside of figuring out what their pain points are because you would have to like you can't solve anybody's problems on a fucking pitch if you don't know what the fuck their problem is. Like you have to be able to address it. So it's
There has to be a general common, so why switch CRMs or whatever it is that he's pitching? I mean, what exactly is it that solves that nobody else has?
you would have to be able to show them what's slipping through the cracks by their lack of follow up is what I think would have to be because you yeah think like the some of my insurance policies. Like I followed up with the motherfuckers for fucking like 18 months before I got the cell. Like, not even just got the cell, got the fucking appointment. I closed the cell, but like like just getting in the door, the follow up process was excessive, and that was warm fucking contacts. That's not cold calling. Like, so it
Well,
was
you
like
have to understand though one thing though, warm contacts.
it's a whole different ball game.
Yeah. Okay, okay, so because I've noticed there's actually three. You know how in fucking in MLMs they go, okay, so you hit your warm market, and you have to remember you're an idiot, you don't know anything, you have to present, you're a trainer. Your trainer is the one who fucking does everything, because you don't know nothing. And that's the thing that is so true because is as bright as you are, as amazing as you are, your family knows who the fuck you how you started. They will always see
Who
that
you've
version
been,
of you.
yeah,
Yeah. So it's like it's how they say in the Bible somewhere it says, that a prophet isn't a prophet in his own land or something like that.
yeah. Prophet
You
is
know,
not welcome in his own land.
it's the same fucking principles. It's like I noticed that even within my own personal changes in my own home, at least getting to where my family sees me, my immediate, my kids, my wife, the people that matter the most right now, the way they see me, it's like, oh, that's right. My dad doesn't do that anymore, or he's not that,
Mm.
getting that part to understand and to speak about it and be able to say, have them acknowledge that there has been a change and there has is that alone is tremendous, you know.
Mm.
Because there's one thing that you think that you do, you know what I mean? But sometimes we do unconscious things with our bodies that we think we're doing one thing, but we're showing off and we're giving off another energy because our intentions aren't in place or somehow. And well, I've noticed that. I've seen that. My wife will tell me, she goes, "You don't want to do that." I was like, "What do you mean?" She goes, "No." She goes, "Don't do it." She'll catch me. She'll catch me because it's there. It's like, "No, I'm here, no problem, whatever." And it's like, and the more I do it, it's the more I get that cheesy smile on my face, like, cheese, like, of course, no problem.
Mm.
And then I'll sit about it. I'm like, okay, so why did I like it or whatever it is? Most of the time, I'll do it anyway because it's something I have to do. But I'm just saying,
Yeah. I'm a very big believer in no is a complete sentence. So
in the who?
no is a complete sentence. Like when you don't want to do something, like do that person a favor and tell them no. Um, that guy that I pulled up on when I was getting to the gym the other day, he had somebody that was supposed to come out there and service that machine and get it moving for him. And he texted me that night before when I was going to work. He's like, "Yeah, the guy's a no show." And I was like, "Yeah, that fucking sucks." People are depending on you to fucking do what you said you were gonna do, and you have no clue what the repercussions are gonna be of you being a fucking flake. And at the end of the day, I mean, maybe it'll work out, maybe it won't. But clearly, it didn't work out for my buddy, and that's why I ended up doing what I had to do. But it's funny because I can't even count on all my fingers and toes as many times as he has not done what he said he's going to do for me. And when he texted me that, I was like, "Yeah, I know exactly how that feels when people don't do what they say they're going to do." And I just let it fucking go because I knew he was already stressed out about it. Um, but you think of how many times that guy showed up for me when I didn't ask him to. So you see the character can go in both directions. Um, you know, he had enough goodwill stored up in the bank with me as a friend and an individual, or it was like, yeah, I'm not gonna smoke you right now while you're fucking trying to figure out how to make the situation work out. And I'm just gonna fucking help you. Um, but at the end of the day, it should be a common practice for you to do what you say. And if you're not going to do it, just tell the motherfucker no. It's that simple. Like, because then they can immediately go to solving that problem instead of thinking that they have a solution already.
Yeah, but um, the less what's that word? The less I put on what other people do, and only what I can control, the less expectations. I have
Mm,
no ex. I. If you do it, great. If you don't, great.
no. Well, I mean,
It's my expectations. I have learned to have less expectations on people. Of course, you take them on their word. Of course, you take them on your word, right? But then but they'll show you what it is, and I have no expectations. Just if it didn't work out, it didn't work out. I don't think anybody really has the intentions of really fucking you over. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What the thing with me is like it's a character trait. So if you're around me and you don't keep your word, you're not going to be fucking around me. Like that's what it is because that's not like I'm not going to continue to have that influence because I don't want to adopt that trait. And that was one of the things that like I had a problem with that coach that we both were interacting with is he if it was inconvenient for him to keep said agreement or whatever, he would just change it. He wouldn't do it. And I was just like, dude, I was like, you got to do what the fuck you say. And it's well, yeah, you don't know what it's like to. You're correct. I don't know what it's like to have that many agents that you're responsible for. It doesn't change the fact that you still need to do what the fuck you say. Like, or don't say you're going to do it. Like it's not that fucking hard. Like you don't over promise and under deliver. Well, that's one of the fucking like key traits. Like you always under promise and over deliver. And if you've got that backwards, and you're trying to embellish and make things look better than they are, and that's a fucking problem. And it's a very weak trait in my opinion. So like that's what like why don't you listen to me? Yeah, I'm really not. I don't want to get into this. Like just I I take what I need from you and I give what I can, and we'll just leave it at that. Well, no, you need to be around me more. I don't want what you have. And because when you're, well, there's the old saying, I heard it when I was young, and I thought it was bullshit. He's like, if you're hanging around five gang members, you're going to be number six. If you're hanging around the barbershop, you're going to get a haircut. Like, if you hang out with entrepreneurs, you're probably going to be an entrepreneur. Like, you are not strong enough to fight your surroundings. Like, you will pick up traits and habits unwillingly, and you will start to slip. Like it's just a fact of the matter. So, like you may have a line that you won't cross in certain areas, but you'll still pick up shit that you never thought were part of your character. And no, it's you go ahead.
That was something I heard recently.
Oh, really?
Right? Yeah, I heard something in that recently, and I knew exactly where this was going. I mean, think about this. I don't remember who it was. I can't give the credit. I wish I could. Maybe it'll ring a bell. But whoever it was they were talking about is like, yeah, you have one guy who is madly in love with his wife, and he goes into work, and he's blah blah blah, and everybody else fucking hates their fucking. Oh, gotta go and fucking. I gotta go. I gotta go home and what was it? The old ball and chain, the old ball and chain, the old lady. I gotta go to the ball lady and the old lady or whatever it is, And then the guy who loves his wife and whatever it is, and who would never say that would all of a sudden go, "Yep, I've got to go to my ball and chain," and then and then that's the thing. It's like holy shit, dude. But then it's the same thing though. You hang out with shit, you're gonna come out stinky. It's just it's you may not have the intention to, but if you sneak around, you'll catch a whiff of it. It's the same thing. Something's gonna stick. So why not stick to things that are gonna make you better?
Right.
It's I don't know. It's my mom always said, right? Tell me who you hang out with and I'll tell you who you are.
Yeah.
Right? It's my mom at one point, and then and that's the same thing as what all of our books that we've talked about. We hang out with determines your life. The books you read and the people you hang out with determine your life in the next 5 years. That's it.
Yeah, no, there's we talked about this actually. I'm pretty sure that's why it's you can't figure out where it came from. It's because we talked about this probably over a year ago,
I wouldn't doubt it.
and because it was the exact same thing. People were they talk about their old lady and the ball and chain, and then they wonder why their relationship shit and they're not happy at home.
No, I saw a meme. It was recent.
Oh, okay.
I'll see it. I want to say it was Tony Robbins. I mean, that's how big it is. I don't know
Oh,
if it
no
was
shit.
Tony Robbins, Alex Hermosi. There was a guy who just, you know how Tony Robbins all of a sudden has done like a fucking gazillion interviews recently, and everybody's like, "Oh my
Nah,
god, we're interviewing Tony." You haven't seen that one yet?
no.
There is a fuck ton of fucking brand. See, I just said thank you, Marika, because I haven't said fuck like this in a while.
Yeah, that's what happens when you hang out with people that cuss a lot. You start cussing.
I know.
Yeah, it's a case in point, proving what we were literally just talking about right now. So, because when I wasn't working in construction and I was by myself in the office, guess what? I didn't cuss that much.
Mm-mm.
And then when I was in the truck by myself, listening to personal development all the time, I didn't cuss that much. And then when I got back out in the field,
Oh,
it started picking up like case in point. And I don't even realize I'm doing it anymore. Like until I'm talking to one of my elders, my mother, my father, my wife's parents, and then I'm like just speaking, and I'm just
oh.
and find another word to use because it's like that's case in point. Like you will
Foot in
pick it
mouth.
up. Yeah. But yeah, no, we definitely talked about that a while ago. It's very interesting that it's resurfacing, and more than likely, I got it from somewhere else too. And that's why I'm really big on not hanging out with dudes that cheat on their wives
Yeah.
because,
Oh no. Oh
and
no.
like,
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
want to be around people
No.
that talk bad to their spouses and
No.
they're abusive and disrespectful and stuff. I don't think I would pick it up. However, there's a good chance. But I mean, I had that conversation where one of my wife's friends were had her husband in the corner berating him while we were out, and I asked him if he was good. And, my wife told me to mind my own business, and I told her to remember who she married. And she's like, "I think it's time for us to go." I was like, "That's probably the best decision we're going to make of the night." Because I mean, that shit is infectious. It's a disease, and uh, and you'll hear people like, "I wish I could talk to my significant other like that." Why? Well, why? Why would he let you? Why would she let you? Why would you want to do that? Why would you want to sow those different seeds of fucking poison into your relationship? Because that's exactly what it is. Again, it's the emotional control shit on top of a lack of respect. Like, well, should be able to give you peace of my mind. Oh, well, should I be able to do the same? Like, you're not going to give somebody what you don't want to receive back. Like, right? You reap what you sow. So, but then
Mhm.
you
Mhm.
you bite off more than you chew, and then somebody stuffs their foot down your neck, and now you're the fucking victim. Like it just plays around, and you see this will, which is driving around in circles right now because it's going through society right now. It's going through relationships. This shit never fucking stops. So, like, you have to, yeah, you gotta, we gotta do better. Like, we just have to.
The I've noticed that as a society nowadays, you know how marriages are failing and so forth, and we talked about this last night with Sebastian. Um, actually, we talked about that carrot. All right, in society, we are being taught to always follow that carrot. All right, there's something else better. There's something else better. I can do better. I can do better. But we forget one thing. And unfortunately, you see it all over the fucking TV. See, it's easier to call it TV, but we don't say what it is. It's a television, right? Right?
Television.
So we see it all over the TV, and that is the disrespect between couples. The disrespect between couples of how the interaction and the I've learned, and what saved my marriage was that I learned that my space with her is no longer and should have never been just her and me. Our world, our world is we're on one side of the brain, I'm the other, and she's the other side of the brain. We are one. We really are. And what affects her should affect me. And what affects me should affect her. That it wasn't until 100% I gave into that notion.
Hmm.
That it wasn't until I said, "Holy fuck, dude! I can't be the best version of me if I'm thinking that." Or there was a thought. I'm just saying, or there was a thought that there could have been a better wife, for example, a better job, a better this, a better that. But what if? And I'm noticing that, and I noticed that. I go, wait a moment. What if I wait? I need to become the best version of husband I could be. And it wasn't until that then everything else fucking followed through. But it wasn't. I couldn't expect of her to become until I became what I wanted her to become. I became the best version of husband that she could possibly have in order for her to become the best possible version of wife I could have in every sense of the word. I don't know how the fuck it happened. I don't know why. There is absolutely nothing. When I learned and I accepted uh when I learned and accepted that when I learned and accepted my day, I guess you could say it that way. Remember we talked about this? We talked about how in Nestor's world, for example, my day is from when I wake up to when I sleep, right? So I choose to, and I have chosen to do certain things in my day that are my minimums. This is whatever it is, right? Whether it be my intellectual training, my bodily training, my whatever the fuck training. But definitely, most important thing is my interaction with her. The better my interactions with her, um, the better everything is. There's times where I don't want to say it this way, but it really is this way. It's like telepathically. I think humans are the only ones who forgot how to speak telepathically. You know,
I think we're the only ones that have been poisoned to the level where we're not doing it.
thank you, thank you for saying that. You know, because I feel that I can speak with that woman telepathically now because I have fully given into my true self.
Mm.
Does that make sense? I'm not giving in onto the persona or the facade of a character that was instilled in my programming. That's a different story on that one. But what else? I don't know. I think that was it. It was just most of the
Because
time.
you exercise that pineal gland too.
Oh, like a motherfucker.
So
Oh,
that's what
yes, I
actually
do.
what I'm like searching for is what sparked in my brain.
Yeah. No, I've learned through breath work I've had to do it. I've learned through a lot of things. Um, well, it's been a while since I've done any psychedelics or anything like that. And it's but I've learned, yeah, through breath work alone. I've learned to activate the hell out of it. I've learned in my I don't know how it and why it's funny. My body tells me to do certain like stretches,
Hmm.
And then all of a sudden, dude, I promise you, I get things on the phone, maybe because I started searching like different yoga positions and stuff like that I can practice because I don't know anything. I don't I just know what feels good, you know. And how do I know it feels good? I was like, oh, that feels tight. Let me see if I can stretch it out. And I if it wasn't for that, dude, I'd probably be would be a hermit crab like this. I'd be all moped up, you know. I
Let's
saw
see.
a doctor the other day, dude. Listen, I saw a doctor the other day, and I promise you, it was for my disability appointments, you know, all this stuff. And the doctor's literally looking at my stuff, and he's like, Nestor, you have heart conditions. And I'm like,
Shut up.
sure. And then, and I'm, and I'm like, okay. He goes, but your heart's fine. He goes, you have gastrointestinal this, but you're okay. He goes, your skin is clear. He goes, you have lost weight. And I mean, he's going through my files because I dropped a little bit more since the start of my last physical, you know? And then he's going through he goes, you all right? I was like, I couldn't be better.
No.
You know, I couldn't be better. He goes, you don't take any medicines. And I'm like, no. He goes, what do you do? I said, well, I stretch every day. He goes, you stretch? And I said, I really stretch every
No.
day. I eat whenever I get hungry, and it's not often. I could go a day or so. He goes, huh? How long you been doing that? And I was like, I don't know, about 4 years now. Yeah. He goes, okay. Every year, I've been dropping about an average of about since last year to this year, I dropped 10 pounds from last year to this year. So you know, it's just. But I think
Mm.
it was tremendous because I'm down 70 already from when I started.
You were a big boy too. Like
Yeah.
people look at you right now, and they wouldn't know.
Uh-uh.
You were quite frankly a fat fuck.
Yeah, I was. I
And
was.
you made some changes.
Oh, I was.
So
And how I ate.
yeah. Well, that's a this is this is going to go a lot further than it's a good door to open. So the pineal gland, we're circle back to that one
Okay.
because I I don't like we talked about it in human anatomy in college and fucking, but we didn't talk about it. Like it's just a part on the fucking chart. Well, that was it. And so I went and fucking like Googled it right now while we were talking, and it's let's see here. We'll go with this over the shoulder. Now we'll do this background side by side. Side by side works better because I'm curious. Did I hit the right screen? Which screen is it? All right, yeah, that's the right screen. So it's referred to as the third eye. Due to its center location in the brain, its sensitivity to light and its role in producing melatonin to regulate sleep cycles, while rooted in ancient mystical traditions as a soul or seat of the soul or a spiritual organ of intuition. It's called the third eye in some mammals. So, and you were talking about it one day when you were doing your breath work and how you were activating that. And so I like started wondering about it and looking at it a little bit. And then one of the things that actually make that gland shrink is fluoride. So they put fluoride in our water. They give you fluoride treatments when you go to the dentist, and that's one of the things that I nip. Like I don't drink tap water anymore, and I don't get the fluoride treatments and stuff like that. And we use baking soda toothpaste and stuff like that. But one of the things that would make me think is like, how fucked up my sleep cycles are. And so that's one of the things that regulates sleep and the production of melatonin. And so if you're not getting rest, the hustle culture and stuff like that, then you're actually fucking hurting yourself a lot, and you're nipping that spiritual connection that you can have with people in your household or with God. infinite intelligence, whatever you want to call it, for whatever you believe in. So you're somebody that actually exercises that gland to make sure it stays healthy. And I didn't even know that was a fucking thing. And it's probably one of the more important things that have come out of the conversations because, higher self is important, to me, at least. I don't know if it is to everybody else. Um, what made you start doing the breath work and stuff like that?
Um, well, when I did Toad, you, I learned about, and I saw things and I felt things that I didn't understand what was going on. I, in the search for that, I said, I kept looking for different ways to get the same sensation without doing Toad. Because I kept going in there and seeing what happens when I do Toad. And the reason I said that is because in my very beginnings, and I think everything happens for a reason, and some things, the reason I say that is because in my, when I started going through my transformations, my programming was so instilled, so it was it was there. It had building block after building block after, it had a huge foundation of programming that was, it was, well, pretty much it was decades of work of building blocks that took that Toad, every time I did Toad, it was kind of like a layer just released. And I was like, I don't want to depend on anything like this. I don't want to. Remember, you have to remember, I came from a world that I don't do drugs. I don't do this. I was an altar boy. I'm a little fucking Boy Scout. I'm military. I work on airplanes. I don't do drugs, dude. I was like, this is fucking crazy. Why am I looking forward to how I feel and I can interact? And then I write down of every, after my Toad sessions, I would have these bursts of fucking just like, holy shit. And I'm just like fucking writing shit down. And I'm like, and then, so it became a daily quick hit, right? And for about almost a year. And I learned how to, what different doses it would be. I worked on myself. It's like, if I do it this much, what happens to the body? That type deal. Because the fucking mind was going everywhere, and throughout the days and throughout the afterwards, because it keeps working after. It's like you're constant. It's like the download. It's like the button got open, like the pathway got open, and I can receive. So I start writing things down, bing, 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 and I filled up 2 or 3 fucking notebooks, and I'm thinking, wow. So I started looking for other avenues that weren't dependent on any chemical substances, and I said, okay, I noticed that marijuana has a certain effect with the pineal gland as well. It keeps that certain things open, that pathway open. There's certain attributes. Psilocybin, it'll open the pathway a certain, but it opens it a certain way that you see other things, and everything has a connection. Everything has a story, a value, or whatever. But so I said, I want to do it naturally. And I kept looking into it and looking into it, looking into it. And then I found breathwork, and when I saw like Wim Hof with in his teachings, and I'm like, wait a moment, I used to do that. After we talked about that, I was like, so I remembered my dad teaching me how to hold my breath underwater and how to control my heart rate, and then everything else kind of fucking fell into place. I was like, oh, okay. So I started playing with it. And most of the time, It's a hypervention. You're hyperventilating.
Yeah.
You're hyperventilating the body. But what at the same time, what people don't understand that you're squeezing your fucking spinal fluid from your anus all the way from your little fucking bottom. You're squeezing it and you're hitting that fucking bell. It's like when you go into the park and you hit the hammer and you go bing. That's what it is. Because once you smack that little fucker up, you're like, boom, I promise you see shit. And I've cried, dude. I have videos of myself fucking, I'm going through it. And it's like, oh shit, here we go. And then there was a couple times, and I'm like, I'll go, and I'll come back, and I'll fucking, and my face will be leaking, and I'm like, why am I crying?
No.
That whatever downloaded, and then the rest of the week is just in a processing. That's it. So that's how I started. I've noticed now my mornings are extremely important, and I have to stretch them out now. The stretching. The stretching is so important because most of the time we're always sitting down. We're living. It's just we're I feel that the body is compressed,
Yeah.
compressed, and it just wants to keep closing itself in. And every time, my wife, she's like, stop moving, and it's like I can't. I need to always constantly keep it open, because if not, everything, when you're not murkiness, algae, everything is stagnant, right? So if you're not flowing, right, most of the time, and that's other things that I've learned, if you're not flowing, you're gonna rot. Yeah,
What
that's it.
about like still waters? When like
Yeah,
you can't drink from a still stream.
yeah,
It
no,
should fucking kill you.
yeah, you'll die.
Like, yeah, it's full of this toxic
Amoebas and
bacteria.
toxics.
Fucking yeah, eat your brain. Like
Yeah.
it's nuts. But that's what like the pond that we had in the backyard that I ended up filling back in. After that last hurricane, the pump went out, and I mean, it was full of goldfish.
Mm.
And when that pump went out, those fish died in a matter. It didn't even take 12 hours. And I was blown away. And I was like, there's no way there's not enough oxygen in this water for them to survive for 12 fucking hours. But yeah, no, they died fast. Um, and that's just because it became toxic. And within I don't even know how long I think within the next day, when I cleaned it out, it had already started to fucking stink. And I was
Hmm.
holy crap. It's like the bacteria set in. I mean, tropical climate, Florida, hurricane season, humid, 80s, and freaking the bacteria set in so fast that it was insane. You think about that in your life, it's like you stop moving around, you become stagnant. You're not pushing forward. You're not in pursuit. Like how quickly your life changes. And it's nuts. It's funny because my wife was like, she's like, "Don't you ever just want to relax?" No, it was like I thought I was like,
I thought I was. I
uh,
love it.
it's the
Yeah.
same thing where she's like, "Don't you? Why don't you ever smile?" Like I smile all the time in your photos, and she's like, "Look at this." She's like, "Show me the photos." And it's like I thought I was smiling. I don't know. It's just not. It's not shown here, but it's in here. Like my brain was smiling. I don't know, Danny.
It's here. It's like,
So,
it's Jessica. I'm in here. It's
so,
Jessica. I'm in here.
yeah, my heart's
I
pounding.
love I love that movie.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah. And the whole, I really got to get better at stretching. I only stretch once a week now. I used to stretch like damn near every day, and I just don't do it anymore. And now that I'm actually to the point where I can move again, that I'm not in sciatic nerve pain. Yeah, think like I stopped going to the chiropractor for that, and it
Yes.
got monumentally worse almost immediately, and it's taken me a long time to correct it. I mean, but maybe I should not go to the in and out freaking joint where they you go in there and they talk to you for a little bit and they don't give you any x-rays, they start cracking shit, and then they change your physician every time you go in there. That's probably was one of the downfalls of them. I had a couple of doctors that were really good there. They learned my body and what was going on. But that last guy, I mean, freaking, I had half my body numb for a couple of days. Um,
That's
and
funny you said that. Yeah, my headaches. I remember when I started getting headaches, they sent me to a chiropractor to because they said that I was misaligned.
yeah, and it
Yeah.
requires manual manipulation to be able to get it back sometimes. But that's I don't really know if that's actually the case. Well, maybe if we just start fucking stretching more. You stretch more, you work on your core, you keep a strong body. It doesn't really seem like it's like my wife's pelvis is always out of alignment and freaking. And it's like, yeah, and I was like, you need to strengthen your core because like you could walk up and hit me in the stomach and you'd probably hurt your hand because I walk around with my core engaged all the time because I got sucker punched in the gut when I was younger. And I it's never relaxed, like ever. And it's like, certain lessons you learn. Because even my wife, she's like, why do you like how do you like I have to it's your subconscious. Like it like I have to actually think about
Letting
making
go.
like letting it go. It's always engaged. And she was like, that's so weird. I was like, I find it weird when I see people and like they got like a slaps to them and they're not engaged because of the simple fact that certain they call it traumas. Like things leave scars, and like the body keeps score. I think it was probably a really good book that I've never read, but I remember hearing that the body does keep score. That motherfucker, like, dude, that shit hurt. Like it down there put me down, and I've never forgotten that. So that's why I don't hurt my back. And I've done a lot of stupid shit, and like my back's in pretty solid condition. It's a brick, but it's still. Yeah, I need to start stretching again more. So because I had gotten to the point. Remember, I was stretching every day for a while, and freaking, I got to the point where I could like sit Indian style, and I can't again. I can on a yoga block, but flat on the ground, nah, bro, that ain't happening. Not today.
There is there's a there's some exercises that I've like the duck waddle, the duck walk and stuff like that I was like that forced me to open up my hips.
Mm,
So I anything that hurts in the hip area, I stay there for a while and I push it out and
you got to.
dude, I went. Listen to me. There was a. I do you remember the movie Amer Kickboxer with
Uh,
Van Damme?
Man, damn, that's an oldie. I
Okay,
watched that when
in
I was young.
now of this that movie came out after Bloodsport, but I saw this kick in Bloodsport, but he really did this kick again in Kickboxer, and he does an amazing jumping roundhouse, you know. And I was 9, 10 years old,
Mm.
and I learned how to do that. And I,
Gotta get back to those Van Damme kicks.
dude,
Oh, goals.
I, and I The last time I did one of those cakes, actually did it for Sebastian and one of his friends. They pulled out this big old dummy that Sebastian had, and I roundhouse that, his head. And the other day, when I maybe 4 months ago, 5 months ago, I just happened to be fucking around and I lifted up my leg, not even to the height of a hip, like maybe like, and I felt everything go, oh, fuck. And I said, oh, what
Oh,
happened? That was scary because I couldn't move. It hurt so much to barely move it. And I said, oh no, I gotta.
yeah, that's what happens. Neglect sets in fast. So I didn't even know he was still making movies. I just
Yeah.
Googled him.
Yeah. He's got a contract with Amazon, I think it is.
Well, because he had two in 2024, another one here in 2025, 2021, 2019, 2018, 2018. I could freaking yeah, I'm gonna have to go down a Van
Rabbit Hole,
Damme
man,
binge.
memories. Yeah.
Well, because I was like Hard Target was one of my favorite movies.
Okay.
Um, where they were hunting the veterans for sport. And it was like a really fucked up thing that they had the rich people like you go pay to hunt a
Yeah.
soldier that was living on the street. It was actually really sad, but it's a I don't know. That's probably one of my favorite movies of all time. I still remember it
That's
because he was
because
like the
shit like that.
hero.
That's because shit like that possibly could happen.
That was him standing up to evil, I guess is what it is. It's funny because a lot of movies I always root for the bad guy. It bugs my wife a little bit, but still, like I like the hero stories as well. So, and he was a hero in that movie. Oh, that is something that's very interesting to me. And Jordan Peterson talks about it. He's like, people are drawn to like the bad boy or the villain in movies because there's a bit of that in everyone, um, and that's why you're drawn to it. But it's not who you want to be, but you still there's a curiosity level there.
I've learned to see it this way. In the 360 degrees of life, all the way around, there's always a version of you that you don't know that could exist. If it's in your mind, consider it done.
Mm.
So, because in the vast of nothingness, there's nothing. The human mind creates everything, right? So we bring into creation. We are here to create. And we talked about all this stuff. So I said, you know what? If it has flashed in my mind, that means there is a version of me that has done that. Do I choose that version to be this life or not?
Hmm. That's interesting. Stuff in your head, you have the ability to create. I don't think you already created it. Now, that being said, it was like you got to remember that when I was younger, I really liked gangsters, and I did a lot of gangster ass shit, like a lot of it. So, but at a certain point, I had decided that's not who I wanted to be, and then I created something else in my mind, and it's time for the plot twist. So, your story doesn't end until you choose to
Until you
stop.
choose to stop.
Yeah. So, but yeah, picked up, moved to Florida. Mm, That's kind of that's when the plot twist happened. So, well, I guess it probably started when I went to therapy or counseling, whatever the fuck it's called, and then that's when it started to see that I could actually write a different story. Is what it was.
Most people don't understand. I had it was there was a guy who told me one time. I called him. I told you about him. He rode his motorcycle from Alaska to the Patagonia all the way down fucking he did that whole Pan American
Yeah.
road. He did it
Highway.
on his yeah, he did it on his motorcycle. And I was like, hey Rick, dude, man, how'd you do it? He goes, what do you mean? You just do it. You just do it. There is no how. There's you just go do it. You know? And I'm thinking to myself, but how
Oh,
not
that's
everything is about money. That's everything because most of the time people are stuck living in a 3D world that money is is everything. The end all end all. When you learn that there's a world outside of money, uh, you just everything just happens and does. You build yourself. You every I've noticed that also. It's in my development, in my own personal development, I have somehow built X amount of X amount of passive life. I guess you could say it that way. Like I already have a certain expectations of certain things. Just like, that's normal. You know, to each every step in progress has to become a normal. It can't just all of a sudden be, you know, because once you get there, it's just another step. I guess that makes sense.
mm,
Um, I don't know how the fuck we got there, but anyway.
that's funny. I was looking up the actual distance of the Pan America Highway.
Yeah, it's what is it like 3,800 miles?
So
No,
there's two different.
6,000.
So there's the one that apparently from Florida to the Darien Gap, which was only for like 3,900 miles. But then I freaking changed the wording and found it's 19,000 miles, 30,000 kilometers from Alaska to South America to the tip.
No, 30,000
Kilometers, 19,000.
kilometers, 20,000 miles almost.
316 hours if you maintained a constant speed of 60 miles an hour. And you're not going 60. And some of those, because there's like the Devil's Backbone and all these other different roads in there that are pretty gnarly. Um, I just, that would be a cool freaking trip if I wasn't such a freaking nutcase about security. I'd be good, like all the Alaska all the way to like Mexico. I would enjoy it greatly. But then when we hit freaking Mexico down through South America, I would be more on high alert than I already am, which is unfortunate because I don't think I would enjoy it as much as I would if I could just like take it in. But I mean, honestly, like even being a, there's nothing you can do about like evil fucking marauders and shit like that. So like not down there unless you have a firearm, and I'm pretty sure you can't fucking cross borders
Can't cross borders with a
with
firearm.
firearms.
No,
So
no, no. Because even I looked it up, and even on on vessels,
mm,
they have to be secured and locked up and so forth, and and you have to address them and say, hey, I have weapons on board before you land, and they choose whether or not to hold them or you know what I mean.
no, I mean across
So
Canada, they tossed my whole truck looking for a firearm. They're like, "Do you have any weapons?" I was like, no, and they tossed the entirety of the truck looking for a firearm, like behind the seats, freaking ripped everything out. No, I was like, dude, I was like, man, I mean, like if I was gonna actually like lie about it, I would actually put it somewhere where you guys wouldn't be able to get to it because they didn't go in the bed of the truck like they should have if they were really looking for something. So um, it's an interesting concept. But those are the places that don't like guns. Canada, uh, the colony, is it? Isn't it? Because I
I
know it's
don't know, dude. I
British
don't know. I was
Empire,
gonna,
whatever the fuck it is.
yeah, it's French,
Hmm.
but yeah, I don't know. It's funny because we think that things aren't possible. Oh, we live in such a society. As like, dude, so what's going on now in the world, with Trump taking over,
Oh, God.
uh, he jokingly said he was going to take over Greenland, and now they came to an amazing agreement for
Yeah.
everybody. He,
I don't think he was
he
joking. He's dead ass serious.
and that's the other thing. We don't have those type of leaders. We haven't had a type of leader like that in a very long time globally. You know what I mean? Somebody who's going to be like, you know what, you guys, we got to fix you.
You
you
guys are
know,
fucking us. And you've
yeah,
been fucking us for a long time, and we're sick of
we
it.
we got to fix you. We got to fix you. You know what I mean? It's like politically, civilly, whatever it is, militarily. I mean, when was the last time somebody really fucking took over? Conquered. Those are the people that are fucking remembered, or throughout history, and in this realm. But
Yeah, it's interesting because he will be remembered, and it's
oh yeah,
very interested. I'm interested to see who writes the history book on it because if it's the people globalists, they're going to have him as a tyrant that broke all the laws in America, and if it's the globalists or like current Democrat liberal that hate him so much, but if it's the people that actually voted for him, and I don't know, they
I
see a
have,
different side of it because
I have the
I
reason.
have a different perspective than other people. Like I do, because like when I dropped the episode from last week, I know I'm going to piss a lot of people off. But I was like, yeah, no, I'm getting exactly what I voted for. Well, how can you say that? I can't believe that. That's just not very. That's not Christian of you. Okay. You guys don't remember the version of Christianity where they had crusades and they slaughtered, I don't even know how many people. It was a fuck ton. And, and that was because of what the persecution that happens when the fucked up the opposition, that culture wants to eradicate Christianity off the planet. And that's why they're getting slaughtered in South America right now, and because of that religion choosing to do so. And like, one of the things in America that's awesome is the freedom of religion. However, I
It's
mean,
not.
it's like you ever watch the series Highlander from back in the day where they're like, there can be only one. Yeah, that's pretty much what it looks like. And with those two religions together, there's gonna be some conflict. And I mean, I don't know. I grew up as a Christian male in America. I'm not going to lay down and take it from the Muslim community. It's just not going to happen. So, and
And
it's a
that's the other thing. There's so many different religions. But it's those top three: the Christians, the Jews, and the Muslims.
mm,
Those three. It's the top three religions that have pretty much done most of the killing.
yeah, and then we got what's going on now in Minnesota, where it's still like it's escalating. So
Oh my God, dude! What is that? Like 300 million so far? Or, I don't know. I know it's
I don't
well
know.
into the six figures. I know it's more than 100 million, but
Well, you talking about the fraud thing?
the whole fraud, yeah, it
Oh
was
yeah,
something like
that's like 600 million.
six hundred
Yeah,
million.
that's something stupid. I wasn't even talking about that. That's
And all well, that's Minnesota, right? That's Somalia.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
that's
Isn't it the same
Minnesota.
thing?
But now, no. So it's like it's just a powder cake now. Um, and this is what I was getting at. Where all right, so right now there's liberal Americans that are protesting and fighting for the people that are out there committing crimes and hurting their communities. The people that came in here illegally and aren't contributing to society. Now, I have seen cases here down in Florida where there's people that are getting deported and rounded up that are actually contributing to society, which is a fucking problem. But what's going on up there? Like, um, so I was getting ready to go to hang out with the kids yesterday, and brush my teeth. My wife comes in and she's like, "They killed another one." And I was like, "What are you talking about?" She was like, "Yeah, my old teacher posted a video. It's absolutely disgusting." And I was like, "Well, what's going on?" And it was like, "There's like six cops beating up this dude in the street, and they just fucking murdered him." I was like,
Let's
I
see
mean,
what happened.
I don't really think that's what happened, but I'm not gonna like expel any emotional energy over this. Like I'm gonna wait and see. And so we were sitting there at the park. The boys are out running around the bounce house, and she up on her phone again. So I pull up the news conference, and it's the political officials in Minnesota and that city talking, and they're not saying what actually happened yet. It's like, all right, well, the investigation's still out. They're still reviewing footage, this and that. And then finally, I found a video of it, and you can clearly see the guy. If you shoot, you know what it looks like when somebody's trying to pull a firearm. And I was like, that dude had a fucking gun. And she's like, that would be just so stupid. There's no way that I don't think that's what happened. And sure as shit, fucking pull up YouTube this morning. Fucking dude had a 9 mil loaded 9 mil concealed carry permit with two more mags in his waistband,
Two
and
more mags.
they were trying to disarm him. He was out there with no ID, and he approached the ICE agents and chose not to comply. And all right, so there's one thing. Like I carry. Everybody knows I fucking carry. When I got interviewed by a police officer in my fucking front yard when I got home one day because a neighbor, the the bitch is back shit crazy. She went through her boyfriend's phone and found out he was talking to another bitch, and she fucking took a shot at him in the house. So I, yeah, yeah, which she probably should. I don't know. Don't cheat on your fucking chick. But so the first thing I told him is like, I am armed, and he's like, all right, cool, done. Conversation went about my day, and that's just a point of knowing better, I guess, because if they don't think you're trying to pose a threat to them, you're not going to have six people fucking trying to whoop your ass and trying to disarm you. And if they do, like, hey, for your safety and mine, can you go ahead and hand that over? I'm gonna take it off. You don't touch it. And fucking, it is what it is. So, but you don't see me rolling up on fucking a bunch of, not gonna roll up on a pack of law enforcement and start talking shit to them with my fucking firearm. And then when they try to take it for me, reach for it. Like, yeah, not to one way ticket to the afterlife. It is. So you're lucky if you get your ass kicked. But then you're still gonna like if you have a concealed carry permit, you already know this shit. He knew what he was doing when he did it because you don't get the permit without taking the courses and doing the training. So, and again, like nobody wants to see anybody getting gunned down in the fucking street, especially not American citizens. But they're still always talking about personal responsibility.
That's when I say NPCs.
Well, it's the fucking we talked about this where they get so wound
It's
up.
that guy. But that's what I'm saying. They become the don't we need to educate ourselves so much that we don't become the example.
Mm.
Empty minds fucking are the first ones to fucking allow emotional garbage to flirt out.
That's not even true because a lot of these people are highly educated. Like my wife's got a fucking master's in like a master's in fucking science.
I'm not
Like it's
saying they're
it's just a
dumb. I'm not.
different. No, it's just a different level of it's indoctrination versus education, I guess is what it would be.
100%. That's it. Yes, I agree.
Like,
No, that was it. Everything ties down to like indoctrination, which is basically formal schooling versus personal development, personal education.
No.
It's just that's the only thing is that's the only thing I can see. It's like didn't Elon Musk say recently that our current education system is not meant for the future of humanity because we're not teaching people to use their fucking minds, to use their
Yeah.
brightness, to use their creativity. That's what we need to do right now. We created. Listen, my father-in-law, my mother, my mother-in-law, all these people are looking at me going, "You're a bum. You don't do shit." Because but they don't know how I live, so it doesn't fucking matter. You know what I mean? It's either A, they think I'm fucking filthy rich, or B, I'm just a fucking bum. You know? But then it's all in perceptions. Because why? Because my way of working isn't the same as them. They have to get up, brush your teeth, take a shower, and go to work, come back in their minds, that 8 hour day. That's what you don't do that anymore.
Hmm.
You don't do that anymore. You know, it's to them that has to happen. In the world that you're waking up now and you see, and we are seeing waking up now because this fucking it's everywhere. That's not the world that we're going to be experiencing anymore. We if you're not creating, you are consuming, right?
Yeah.
It's just that simple. So when you're creating, I'm creating the us that are fortunate enough to have that creative mind and not settle for society's mediocrity.
I think that's why people were so depressed
Yeah.
because they lack that purpose, and it is. I think it is in the nature of the human being to want to create. Like, I didn't think I had a creative bone in my body at all. And when I started creating and seeking for more, and all of a sudden there's no more depression at all. Like there's ups and downs, swings, and it's the emotional swings when I start to feel the sadness creep in is when I am not pursuing something. It is like 100%. Like even when so I would like do those 75 hard and I do the different phases. And every time I would come off of them, I would start to fall into like a depression. And I couldn't understand why because I was so freaking high. And then I would come back down. And what I figured out is that every time that I came out of that program, I had to have a goal that I was in pursuit of or something that I was creating, or my mentality would start to slip. And that's why I think it's not even the actual, it's not the accomplishment that gives us the joy. Me personally, it's actually the pursuit, it's the race, it's the drive. And once I figured out, like I haven't had a freaking, like even when I lost my job or freaking I couldn't work out, I couldn't do fitness anymore. Like I was still in pursuit of something, and there was literally it was like, damn, I was like, this fucking sucks. All right, whatever. What can you do? And just keep on pushing. And so you just find a different area to direct that energy at, and then you take aim and you start executing and you start moving in that direction. And then there's still the pursuit and there's no depression. And at least for me, that's what I found to be true. And I don't know how that.
Because you found a purpose in your day, though. That's a thing. Most people don't understand that they think, all right, so for the last 200 years, society is relative to what you do for a living or how you earn your income.
You
That's
find
what that,
there.
huh?
People find their value there.
Right? Correct.
Yeah.
And that is so off from everything else because you're missing out on 80% of
No.
you. Right? So you're defined by that 20%. That's why people like me that haven't really held a job, that have had multiple careers in one life, that have had multiple experiences in different things, that have had multiple bankruptcies for whatever the fucking multiple failures, figuring out what am I good at, and then going, oh, that didn't work, 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 but that was awesome. And then tying in all the rest. When
Mm.
you figure that out, you also say, you don't realize how amazing the day really is because you're living in the cage of your mind, on
Mm.
sometimes I've learned, no, not sometimes, excuse me. I have learned that I don't control the day. The day just shows up and the body shows up throughout the day. You're,
That was an interesting frame of mind, because mine is exactly the opposite.
I show up and the day comes in and I'm prepared for whatever it could be
Mm.
without any emotion on the outcome,
Mm. Yeah,
without any emotion on the outcome.
that's crazy.
Because as long as I show up, it means I have a purpose being there. So I make sure that it became different. It did. And
And mine is I live the standard. So it's like the exact opposite. Like you show up and you take it for what it is. You let it flow and you move through life. You do your best. And then me, I'm trying to grab life by its fucking neck and make it submit. Oh, it's very
yeah,
interesting.
yeah,
That's like
it
100%
definitely,
different.
yeah, wow, yeah, no, because I show, like, for example, I know I'm human and I know I'm not 100%. I know I'm going to make my mistakes, right? But as long as my mistakes are, you have to remember everything has to do with intention. I'm going to learn through my actions. I'm going to learn through the things that my experiences, how I see certain things and how I interact with my day. So as my how I've learned how I interact throughout my day. There are things that I can't control out there that are gonna piss me the fuck off. That are gonna make me happy. That are gonna do this. That are gonna do that. Of course, you take in all the good, and yeah, our face leaks all the fucking time because we're starting to learn how to use our emotions and how to control certain things and how not to and how to absorb. Why is it all of a sudden that before our old frame of mind was men don't cry, dude. We don't worry about stupid shit like that. Now I'm the biggest fucking pussy because I can see it and I can relate to it and I actually feel it. You're
Yeah.
allowing your feelings, you're allowing and you're thinking with your heart. So I've learned two things. We have two minds, we have two brains. We have two minds and we have two brains. We have the egotistical mind, which is our reptilian brain, which is our survival mode. Right? We're supposed to feed it because this is what we are. It's our in our basic programming, in our basic routine, in our when we're in autopilot, it's all ego driven, 100%.
That's an ego.
Because the ego has the basic programming of protection. The ego, yeah, you build your ego always wants to save you. It doesn't want you to get hurt.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's ego, but I get what you're saying.
Okay, maybe my wording is off, I don't know.
Yeah,
But
no,
yeah,
I
but
get it's like your
it
subconscious,
you're
the protector.
the protector,
Yeah,
correct, is
it keeps you
is
alive.
driven, is ego driven because the that's done by this brain. This brain, our stomach, our guts, our heart, this, our guts is another brain. Our heart, everything is another brain. It really does. Why do we have EKGs? Our hearts emit so much energy, so much radiation, so much vibration that is the main attractor in everything. When your heart is it well, how do you know if when you're approaching somebody, if you can relate with them or not? Dude, intellectually, relationship, energy wise, you can approach somebody and know if they if, just by the look or not. It's just it's the energy. That's your heart. Believe it or not, it's just that's what it is. So when you learn to use that energy, everything else, just know that the body is supposed to be there, and then sit back and enjoy the movie. So if I'm sitting back enjoying the movie, knowing that the body is supposed to be there, and I'm doing supposed to be doing the best that I'm supposed to be doing, then my intentions reflect everything. When you have the intention of ripping somebody off, you have the intention that it's gonna you can't have all the good if you can't have all the bad. So don't rip people off. It's not going to happen to you. You rip people off, you're going to get ripped off. You know what I mean? It's in that same what they call a karmic law. Just understand that what you put out is what you get. What you put out is what you get back. I create that world. That world is a direct creation of my own manifestation. So if I can control the body, certain things, and the body needs to do certain things in order for a goal to be met or certain, right? That's one thing. That's the physical body. That's the mind, the heart energy, the heart. Everything else is what brings everything into effect. I'm starting to go around and I'm starting to go in circles. Yeah. I apologize, but it's just basically, yes, I stopped using this brain because of programming and started using this brain. Yes, that's exactly it. I stopped focusing and on the programming brain and reprogram using what I have learned to attract. Using my own, yes.
Yeah, I get that mentality, and it's a very interesting point of view.
I need a pee.
Yeah, me too.
Take note on that. But I got to pee on that one. Thank you.
It's time to wrap it up here in a little bit. Wife's up already. She's like, "What are we doing today?" Before the break, you're talking about you're portraying the ego as or the protector.
The ego, yeah, the protector. The ego. See, you have to feed the ego once in a while. You have to remember that this is all a game. This is all we're here. We're invading a body. We're taking something over. You know what I mean? It's like, so when we come into this little avatar, because we have to use this body to walk this world. You know, we have to use a suit to go underwater. We got to use a scoot to go up in space. You know, we have to have a certain avatar to live in a certain environment. When we come into this world and we come into and we put on our Earth suit, I guess you could say it that way, we don't realize that the Earth suit has a microchip with certain programming. We think that microchip is who we are or what it is and so forth, but that's just basic programming on survival. Other than that, it's whatever it is that you know how you readapt onto it.
Well, at least not my mentality. The ego is a self-serving. There was a speaker, Eric Allen, who was married to Azadeh Allen, and he would talk about your ego is something that does live in your subconscious, and it's something that it's like a little monster in a fucking cave, and it comes out at certain points in time, and it'll just fucking get its little fix, and it'll go back in its hole. And then it's like, oh, see that, it's come back and just get its little fix, and then go back in its hole. That's not the protector. You know, like your ego is the one that fucking when it feels good to lash out at people. Like that's ego. Your ego is the one that you're trying to make yourself feel good in certain situations where it's not relevant, it's not necessary. The things that protect you, that fucking lizard brain that you talked about, things that keep you alive, like that's the subconscious. It's that's your protector. That's that sixth sense where you feel it in your spine, and there's something creeping up behind you. Like that's a difference that I wholeheartedly like. You can fucking I can feel like a car coming down the street
The
when my
vibrations.
back's to it, and I can feel when somebody with ill intent fucking walks up on me without looking at them. And so that's not ego. The remember when you were talking about your 5 years
Mm,
ago experience, and you were having the death of your ego. You experienced ego death. Sean Ryan talks about it. Freaking DJ Shippey talks about it. Everybody that talks about that spiritual walk that they go on. Like so, that's the other side. It's not your protector that you're extinguishing. It's the thing that is. It's like a little bit of the dark side. The things that is self-serving.
may I?
I mean,
When you realize that there is no bad me, there is no good me, there's just me.
it's not
There
true.
is me based on every single experience, based on whatever perception possible. There are no bad peoples, they're just ill intentions, right? So when,
Oh, there's no way. There is evil in this world.
in order to have evil, you have must have love.
Okay, but it doesn't. There are people that are absent of love in their spirit, and it is just evil, darkness. There is a definite good and bad. There is a good you and a bad you. Like it's not just you. It's based off of the choices you make.
It's also based on the programming. It's also based on their perception. It's also based on their truth.
Yeah, no, there's only one
There's
truth.
a collective, hold on though, there is a collective consciousness that it basically says, thou shalt not kill. There's a collective consciousness that says, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife. There's a collective consciousness that exists. That's what I'm saying. There's a collective right and wrongs, right? But
There's
in order
thousands.
to have one, you must have the other. That's what I'm just saying. There's certain things that you should not do. But here's the key thing, it's all in the perception. Because, listen, dude, if I'm starving, I promise you I will steal to eat before I hurt somebody. You see what I'm saying? So in my right, in my correctness, yes, it is wrong to steal. Yes, I asked and the baker said no. I'm looking at my son and he's dying. I haven't fed him in 3 fucking days. I'm gonna steal a loaf of bread. You see what I'm saying? I know that in sometimes let's say if I lived in fucking Abu Dhabi, Dubai, or whatever it is, right? And there goes my hand. You see
No.
what I'm saying? I mean, you steal, you lose a body part. So it's a choice that we make, but it's because in our right mind, it is correct choice. You see what I'm saying? That's what I'm. There's certain. I understand you completely. Yes, dude. There are certain things that there's no fucking way in hell. No way. But in somebody's right mind, in somebody's mind, they're doing it for a fucking reason. You see what I'm saying?
No.
There's tests. There's true truth in this, that there are scientific tests that have been done to humans pushing buttons. They're not really killing anybody, but if you push this button, you'll hear the fucking on the other side. You need to correct them. All right. So if they answer wrong, you're going to push this button right here, and they're going to get corrected. Okay, you zap them, boom, and then on the other side they're screaming. Now they can't see this person. They can't see this person. And there was a fucking test on that. And why would the person continue to push the button knowing that they're killing that person? Like they're hearing it. Oh my God, don't hurt me anymore. Don't push the button. I'm so sorry. I can't answer the question. I don't know. Don't push the button. And you're like, he has to answer the question, right? Yeah. And you're being told, and you push the button until the fucking person doesn't answer no more. What happened? Oh, nothing. It's okay. It's all part of the test. You see, that shit really did happen when somebody unwillingly went against their thing. All of that is what I'm saying. It's everything has to do with writing. Everything has to have a right and everything has to have a wrong. There has to be one. You can't have one without having the other. You can't have hate if nobody's ever loved you. You can't have, can't have.
It's the same conversation we were having. Like you just drifted off into a whole other realm.
How? We were talking about
Because you were talking like
about egos, right? It's the
yeah,
same. It's the same. We're talking about egos. Egos are here to protect you. Egos are here to protect you. When you lash out at somebody, that's you not controlling it, but it's a protection. It's just a basic understanding.
that's again, I don't see that, and probably will never see it. I don't know if it's an interpretation,
it might
language
be.
barrier or something like that, but I see ego as something else. But you did say something earlier when you were talking, and it made me think. The fucking thou shalt not steal.
The whole.
Thou shalt not steal.
Yeah.
And you were like, well, what if it is, I got to feed my kid, like I could starve, and it made me. I don't know if it's fucked up or not, but what level of resourcefulness do you actually have if you can't figure out how to go fish, hunt, not take from somebody else's work to be able to go feed your family? And then it's a very interesting question. It's the level of thinking to get to the point where that's your only option, where you can't explore another avenue before it gets there, is what was triggered in that thought process. Because, like, yeah, all right, you're right. Like, you got to feed your family. You got to do what you got to do. But where does it get to the point where what you have to do is take for somebody else to fucking work for it, or you can utilize your resourcefulness? And I don't know. It's just a very like now if you're looking at somebody that has to pay their power bill and their lights are going to be cut off and it's winter and all right, so like can you gather firewood and like sleep in a tent outside in the cold? Probably not, depending on your scenario or situation. And so like then all right, now it goes from the point where you have to keep your family alive and you don't have a lot of options. Well, I mean, the walls in your home will keep you alive, but then what happens when you're on the street? And like, so it has a whole lot of different areas where, like, at some point,
We are easy. We are easy to judge based on our own experiences. With that being said, not everybody has access to all the information at the same time. So I'm thinking I'm going to use my home country of Colombia and the neighboring country of Venezuela as an example. There are, when the Communist Party took over Venezuela and started taking control of the land and the businesses and privatizing, excuse me, and governized, they took all the private businesses and made it part of the government and so forth. They stole everything. They stole land. They stole houses, businesses, and they made it all government. A lot of people got displaced. A lot of these people didn't know what the fuck to do, right? So they got, their identities were based on their jobs and whatever it is. And they got pushed out. So they got pushed out and they had nothing. A lot of those people decided to migrate over into walking over and walked into different countries, Colombia, Peru, Venezuela, Ecuador. They just fucking over. A lot of those Venezuelans made it. They did something based on their own willpower and so forth. There are some that, based on their own personal lack of knowledge, right, still live on the streets, that still haven't done anything. Yes, I agree with everything you say. It's in your own willpower at the same time. But then again, let's say the guy was a shoemaker in Venezuela, and here, yeah, he got somebody pregnant, whatever. So now he's got to take care of a baby. He's by himself. I've seen it. Like, for example, he, like, by himself, living on the street with a brand new baby, right? Getting to know that person, because everybody has a story, a sob story for you to give them a handout. But getting to know that person, I realized, what? Sometimes they have to go through that. Sometimes you are the person to go through that. Everybody has to go through something to become that person, that NPC. Things that we do want to become and things we do not want to become. We need the example. We need to see the example. Sometimes we need to be the prime example of what to do. But also, what I'm saying is, don't be the example of what not to do. Be the example of what to do. And with that being said, that's where I tie everything up. And it's in you on to do what is best for you. How can you do it to the best of your ability? Because you and I have been studying ourselves for such a long, well over a decade, going on two, maybe, going on 20 years of studying ourselves, that it's just all of a sudden going, oh shit, it's really like this. Okay. Most people never get there. They never do. They agree upon something else, and they have to be the NPC in our lives. You see what I'm saying? They have to be the example. And that's what I choose. So whenever I become the NPC, I hope I am a good example. I know I've been the other example.
Oh yeah, we both have. So,
but that's basically what it comes down to.
Yeah, interesting point of view. Good conversation. Little thought. Little thought exercise.
We closed it nicely. Thank you.
No, absolutely. Well, it's been real. It's been fun.
So everybody, before we close this, I want to thank everybody for being here, for participating, for laughing with us, for joking at us, for making fun of us. I don't give a shit. Please let us know in your comments, what you like, what you didn't like. I know we joke around and, hey, buy my shit, buy his shit. Listen, if it makes sense, your contribution helps out. Please like, subscribe, share. If anything we said resonated with you, please share it with somebody that you think is gonna fucking help out. If anything that we said pissed you off, please let us know, because we really want to know if we want to give a fuck or not. So with that being said, I love you. Thank you for being here. I'm Nestor. That's Daniel.
I'll do. But he's like, I just want to know if it pissed you off. Like, and quite frankly, if it pissed you off, good. I want to spark thought. Like, it's supposed to make you think. If it pisses you off, then figure out why it pissed you off and actually think about it. Like that's, and I'm not joking when I say buy my shit. Like I got the best fucking
Oh.
t-shirts out there that are comfortable.
Yeah, he does.
The best fucking fit, and it's the best fucking message. So discipline is the fucking standard. It's not the choice. It is a standard. So check it out. Links in the description. And with that being said, that was not a fucking ad. YouTube, fuck off. Don't ding me. And I'll hold you guys later.
Thank you so much. Bye bye.